Are you finding yourself feeling a little bit drained by like some people around you? Or perhaps you've also experienced the other side of things when you experience like energy and excitement and belief from like being around certain people. Well, today I really wanted to talk about how you can create a circle of people to help you win. And if you sit until the very end, I have an extra point for you then as well. Now, I've not had that many people. I'm very fortunate. I know people are different. Deliberately pull me down in my life, like deliberately trying to attack me because if I get near those people, I'm moving away very quickly. And the vibration and the work I've done on myself, those kind of people generally don't come very close to me. Not because I've got security guards or anything, it just doesn't happen. And when you get into like the kind of vibration frequency and the non-physical rules, which I won't go down, but when you start really feeling those things and creating that energy, then those kind of people don't come near you anyway. Because like attracts like, I tend to believe, because that makes me feel more empowered. And you can believe that or not, but for me, I know that makes me feel empowered when I know that I create my own energy in the world. Okay, so like I said, I've not had that many people like pulling me down, but I have had like energy drained like from just like talking to some people, and these are not bad necessarily, and usually not bad intentioned human beings. They're usually very good human beings, but it's just some people have got certain models of the world, they've had certain experiences, and maybe they're in a lot of fear. A lot of the world is in fear. Like, you've only got to look at the news for 2 seconds. Like, I can't even remember why the news popped up earlier, but it's just like, I think it was on social media, to be honest, and I've even cut that down now. It's just like, right, fear, 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 and a lot of people, unfortunately, they've got a lot of fear in them. And if no judgment, because I've certainly had that in my life as well. And fear, fear's a normal thing, right? It keeps us alive in some respects, but when we're like programmed with it by like the news constantly, like, oh, this is going wrong, this is going wrong, you should fear this, you should fear that, all this kind of thing, then it's going to create an impact, a negative mental health impact. I'm sorry, I'm not going to hide that, right? That's what I strongly believe, right? If you're bombarding yourself with fearful things, and some people unfortunately are very bombarded with it, that they're just, it drains them, or maybe they've been through some hard challenges, and it's no judgment. It's about sending love and respect to these people and hope they can move through whatever they're going through. And it's not about telling them what to do. It's about you being the example by just working yourself. Having said that, I've been around people where like they've had a they tend to be in a very like, oh, everything happens to me kind of thing, even though they don't mean to be negative. And I've learned from a lot of great people in personal growth. So I've I'm not perfect by any means, but I generally have the tools that I use every single day. It's an ongoing process. Without fail, I will ask myself the right questions, right? And I will really, really focus and have the intent to work forward. Like I say, I may slip up, but like without fail this year, I've been doing every single day, like really committing to myself, right? And doing my emotional work. Not everyone does that. But I've had people around me, even in the past when I wasn't even into personal growth, like just drain me. And there's other people I notice, oh, it feels really good to be around them. And I used to blame myself. I'd be like, am I a bit boring, or am I just not good at socializing when people exhausted me? Like, I can think of like even close friends I've had in the past, so I don't see as much anymore, right? They just were talking about a situation and it was just exhausting. Right now, I'm all for being there for someone, like now and then when someone needs it, because people need it now and then. But it's like some people just exhaust me. And the reason I'm sharing this, it's not to like moan at other people's. Everyone, you can't control other people, but everyone's where they are. I'm sharing this because maybe you're getting your energy sucked by someone who's just talking negative all the time to you. And sometimes, like, you know, that, there's therapists and all these professionals, and people need others to speak to, of course. I'm 100% for that. But if you're around someone who just doesn't create the vibe or the energy you want, then there's no shame in moving away sometimes, right? A peer group is key. I joined another. a group recently, well, a peer group in a mastermind, and like the energy, the vibration we get off of each other is absolutely incredible. So I really wanted to give some tips on creating a circle of people around you to win that you can start using. Because how is it helping you by just being surrounded or maybe hang out with people who don't make you feel so good? Well, obviously, like our family and people like that, I'm very blessed in my case, but I know you can't choose your family and things like that in some cases. And sometimes you have to put up with people in a certain case, but this is about you consciously having a choice on your friends and the people you surround you with, right? Saying you don't have a choice, by the way, is a choice. So here's the first point. Right. Where do you want to go? Ask yourself that. Like, where do you want to go? Honestly, I don't care what other people have told you or think you should do. Where do you want to go? Being very honest, right? And maybe that takes a bit of discovery, trying things out, right? To figure out where you want to go. Because if you're saying like, well, I want to be like a really healthy individual this year. I want to like feel amazing. I want to run a half marathon. That's amazing. But then if you start hanging out with people who just like to like sit, maybe play card games and stay in and watch TV and eat junk food and drink alcohol, good for them, by the way. If they absolutely love that, that's fantastic, right? That's great, right? But if your goal is to like be running marathons and be really healthy, probably not the best environment to hang out with. Would you agree? Because maybe you go there once to say, oh yeah, I'm not going to eat any of that stuff, that's cool, I just hang out tonight. Yeah, maybe that'll work. But if that's constantly your peer group, then it's going to rub off on you, because as human beings, we want connection with other people, right? And environment is massive. So that's the first one. Ask yourself where you want to go, because maybe, let's be, use this as a silly example, maybe just enjoy just like chilling out and eating crap food and, having some beers, like, and chilling stuff. That's great. Fantastic. I invite you to do that. And that would be a great environment for you. Maybe it's about connection and fun and all that kind of thing, right? I know for me, personally, I'm very, very driven. So I'm very conscious about the people I invite into my life, because I know not as everyone's as driven. And some people are just like, oh, you work too hard and these kind of things. And although maybe there's a debate for that, like, I want people who are going to push me to grow to the best version of myself, not be like, oh, you should take a break all the time kind of thing, right? I'm all for breaks and things like that, but yeah, I like being pushed. I like being challenged. And that's why I'm in like masterminds like the one I just joined. So you're asking yourself where you want to go. All right. Second one, start going to those places of where people are going to be. So it's like you go to like gyms or like health clubs, or maybe there's meetup groups where they're really focused on health, right? Find people in those places, right? And there's more opportunity than ever today on like online and things like that, like Facebook groups, communities, all these kind of things you can join, right? And then the third one is the tough bit. I'm gonna have to be honest with you. It's like cutting out or reducing people. Now, you don't have to always have the awkward conversation. May do. I'll just be real with you, but there's some people I respond to a lot less than I used to. And like they might be like, oh, do you want to catch up and hang out that weekend? And I'm a bit like, I'd rather not. So I'm like, telling them I can't, right? So cutting out people or reducing others in the most loving way you can, so you can be the best you, because they're not supporting you. And they may not be a negative person. They may not deliberately be knocking you down, but you want to find people, you want to set yourself up to win by surrounding yourself with the right people. Okay, final point I want to share with you that I think has really, really helped me, a sexual bonus point, is listen to people, podcasts, YouTube videos, all the things you can. Obviously, I'm going to suggest podcasts since I am one, although this is a YouTube video as well, of course, so podcasts and YouTube, I guess. But listen to people. I would suggest trying to keep away from social media, because I'm not saying don't go on social media at all, because I go on it, of course. But what I'm saying is, if you're trying to listen for inspiration on social media, that can take you down a rabbit hole sometimes. You get distracted by like some stupid video of like some kid eating like a 16-inch pizza or whatever, or doing, and then you see like all these, I don't know, negative messages that can take you down a rabbit hole. So listening for good quality information, I would suggest YouTube, or of course, no guarantee what you get in terms of the next videos, although it's very good with the algorithm on YouTube, but you're not going to get all the posts and stuff like that. So YouTube or podcasts. If you're listening to one, listen to someone who inspires you, that can uplift you, because it's surprising how much listening to certain things can influence you. It's always getting to the subconscious. I'm always listening to wealthy people. I'm always listening to people who are very good. Well, I'm one particular person mainly who's very good with relationship sort of advice, particularly romantic relationships and things like that. And then I also listen to a lot of like kind of growth, spirituality, those kind of things, and it's having an impact on me and the way I think. So that'd be my final point. Like, you don't have to know I would suggest obviously finding a group as well, because they're going to actually have conversations with you. But in addition to that, this is my extra tip, is listening to as much uplifting information in line with where you want to go. If you want to be like a multi-millionaire, you want to be like smashing it in real estate, just an example off the top of my head, then listen to someone who's a multi-millionaire in real estate. Grant Cardone comes to mind there. So that's what I got for you today about creating a circle of people to set yourself up to win. So I appreciate you for being here. And remember to lead with your heart and not with fear.